Hello and welcome back to Collins and Collins, where we will be for an extended period of time. And I am joined again by Collins and Collins' best employee. Don't forget to check out the Patreon. Doodle-doo. My name is Ashley Clements.
And my name is Julia Cho.
And these are the Look Back Diaries.
Best employee.
Best employee! Number one. Only person actually doing anything. It's unclear that Collins does anything.
He's the face. He's the talker, you know?
He's the talker. And look, we all need somebody to do the fundraising, and he has successfully sucked up to Catherine and gotten that money.
Yeah, playing to his strengths and hiring competent people to take care of the rest. Sounds like
competent
a
person.
Yeah.
Competent person. I can't say that the Collins and Collins product makes that much sense.
Again, Ashley, we shouldn't ask too many questions.
Don't ask too many questions. I mean, it is a lot to ask for the writers to come up with like a whole workable business plan that makes sense to be on the side. We've already come up with this whole like, and you could do an independent study and trans be peer, and now this is
that makes sense. That
makes sense too. What's important is a thin film of plausibility and jokes,
humor, laughter, and joy,
and friendship. Friendship like that between Lizzy and Charlotte, which is my transition to episode. This is one of those outfits where I'm like,
I was going to ask
well,
you,
now we're not doing this. Was a nightgown that I decided I could wear as a dress and did a lot. And in retrospect, I'm like, I don't know about that.
Wait, it's belted though. Did the belt come with the dress?
It's not belted. It's just that like the top is sort of this little corsety. It's just elastic, and then the skirt is just attached to it. I mean, it's an anthropology in a nightgown. It's a weird piece. It's a weird nightgown. It's weird. I don't know, but it was like very cheap because it was a nightgown. Did the scarf phase ever end?
You're right. Touche.
But I love it. It's great. This is a great business casual look.
I don't have that specific scarf. I did have to retire that. And there's like a little disco quality to it, which I love. And I guess, again, it's like, hey, I'm dressed for work, but I'm just going to add a little fun.
I'm dressed for work and the club. I'm dressed more for the club. I love that everyone here has this whole, like, why might Darcy be here? It's obviously about the company, and everyone's missing why Darcy's really there.
Well, it's a little too profile for me, but there's only so much
that is another thing about this. The way we set everyone up here, I feel like in ascending order to the door, everyone is slightly upstaged.
Yeah.
Because I think that if we brought the stools in completely parallel, there wasn't enough room to move around them.
Yeah. You know what would have been
funny? But even I'm like slightly upstaged by everyone.
Yes. I think it would have been funny if like every time Collins came in, his head would be cropped, like unaware of the camera, and he's just standing talking.
Well, we did that with Darcy.
No, but I feel like it's also fitting for Collins.
It would be fitting for Collins, but the way we're framed, we know we cut off DVG's head, and he's like 6'2", and Max is a little bit. So I don't know if it would work. Put him on stilts.
He's trying to think of more creative blocking options.
Is this the only time you played Darcy?
Oh, is it?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
They'll tell us below.
Yeah.
I'm always very reliant on the viewers. I wrote you a script of this weird
They catch everything.
encounter that we had. Oh, and now you're talking about you. Oh, and then I'm just apologizing to you through costume theater.
Thank you, costume theater.
That was sweet. But really, was that it?
I'm also wondering if I tied my hair back for this episode, knowing that I was going to have to don the Darcy costume.
Maybe. I also believe this would have been later in the day because my hair is also up, and that's one of the main clues that I would just sort of. Also, another thing that I found, ironically, as air conditioned was said, it wasn't nearly as hot, but I found in the notes about our second shoot day in Collins, or in an email rather, that we didn't have air conditioning because the company didn't run it on the weekends because people weren't supposed to be there. And we didn't have control over that. So, like, for all of our... And then we finally don't have to deal with the sweatiness, that it got very stuffy more than anything. I think it wasn't nearly as hot.
I was just noticing how stringy my bangs were looking there. I'm like, oh.
But yeah, I think that after the whole nightmare of like how hot it had been, and we were so excited to be in a different location, that then ironically we were so excited to get air conditioning, and then nope, sorry, not for you. But so by arrangement, we did have it for day 2 in the space, which, you know, we were shooting in October and was still like vitally necessary because this is Los Angeles. Very enjoyable to see your, whether or not it's the first time, don't remember, little jaunt into Darcy land. Everyone should get to play Darcy at least once. It's just like in life.
It's an easy costume. Yeah.
It is a very easy costume. And I did meet a lot of cosplayers at conventions and things.
So cute.
Like the 3 easiest ones to do were Darcy with the hat and the bow tie, Lizzy with a blue plaid shirt, and Mrs. Bennet. I did meet some Mrs. Bennets as well. I remember meeting, I think I have pictures with them at some convention. I remember meeting a family that were like the mom had done Mrs. Bennet. And which was just like adorable that, like, you know, mom had brought her daughter as Lizzy. And did anyone, I mean, even Lizzy didn't have a strong Charlotte cosplay, and it's really, I think, only happens in episode 96. Did you ever encounter anyone who was like dressed as Charlotte?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because I didn't, like, Charlotte didn't have like a go-to look.
You didn't have a signature.
Like, yeah, because, you know, Jane had the milk braids and, you know, like
cute headbands.
Yeah, or like a cute vintage frock dress. I remember I wore that grape hat, that purple grape hat, for an episode, and then someone found
that's what we used it as the cosplay for you.
Yes, for me. And then I remember another a fan had you know, was rocking like a pretty close knockoff. But I've also seen, just long dark hair down, holding a book, maybe?
If you've ever cosplayed as Charlotte, let us know below.
Yeah, please describe in detail.
I don't mean in the comments. I mean just like down in your soul.
Yes.
Let us know.
Or tweet us. Send us a picture or whatever. Or just describe
if you have pictures of yourself cosplaying as Charlotte, please tweet them at both of us.
Yeah.
Those links are below. Because I want to see them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen. I mean, I just, again, because Charlotte just never really had an iconic look for herself. But I do remember instances of people dressing up like her. I just don't remember the.
Yeah, no, it feels like something that would have happened.
Yeah, yeah. Especially when you're like walking with a Lizzy, that's kind of like an obvious, like, oh, okay, I see Lizzy and Charlotte together.
It's a group costume.
Yeah,
I love a group costume. I've done very few in my life, but it's nice to be a part of things.
Yeah, they're so fun. How flattering, you know?
And then we, as a cast, ended up doing some interesting costumes when they sent us to Geekycon. They gave us costumes.
Oh my gosh. They had me dress up as Evil Willow, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's obscure.
It was very obscure.
Yeah, I mean, even as someone who watched Buffy, that's obscure.
So obscure. I don't know where I even got the top or the outfit.
Well, they gave us the outfit.
They gave us stuff.
They gave me mine.
And then they did my makeup.
Leia.
You and DVG. Han Solo and Leia.
Yeah, and it came with a wig, but like the wig, I don't think this wig, I mean, the costume was adult size, but I think the wig was almost sort of child size because the wig came down to like here on the back of my head. So like, but so the back of my hair was absolutely like still visible, but you got the buns, which is, you know, the most important aspect of that. And then, yeah, it was just like a dress and belt. I mean, it was like very, very cheap, sort of like Halloween costume
but
thing.
Daniel had the vest, speaking of.
Yeah, no, it was also like a bag Han Solo costume. Like, I don't even think they were like real pants. They may have just sort of been like, oh, these go over your pants, or maybe that's how the shoes were. At any rate, but that's a bagged costume. This is how you hold a bag.
Yeah. I see it.
But Evil Willow would not be a
bagged costume. You know what it was? I have a vague recollection now. I think there were talks of me dressing up as Mulan, but then they thought that was like too on the nose because I'm Asian. But I'm like, why not let the Asian person play the Asian
but I am
character? Yeah. And so
like, is it offensive if we make an Asian person play an Asian person?
And I was like, I think it's offensive when it's a non-Asian person dressing up as the Asian character.
Yeah,
like, we're okay, guys.
That's the offensive part.
These decisions were made before we even got there. I think.
Yeah, no, so, like, but it's
Evil Willow was just assigned to.
If it's offensive to have you play Milan, then it's equally offensive to have Laura Spencer play Ariel. In as much as like, you kind of vaguely look like them on a very surface level. Like,
right. Yeah, I would have happily played Mulan other than Evil Willow.
I would have had you play Mulan because, for one, that costume comes in a bag, which is easy. And two,
she's a character.
Otherwise, we're actually not representing any Asian characters on stage. When we
It's not like you were gonna throw me in a kimono. You know what I mean? Like, this is an established character.
That's the closest we've ever come to being a part of a group costume, except that the only theme uniting us is nerds like it, which is Geekycon,
fandoms.
Which was, I mean, that was what Geekycon was about.
There's also a song we had to sing. This is wild. Yes.
But it was like rewritten lyrics to like something popular.
Lyrics. Yes. Was it to Love?
Oh, it must have been Rent because
Rent because Anthony Rapp there.
Exactly. Yeah, normal things.
Right. The more we're talking about this memory, it just sounds like completely made up. It was like a fever dream. Yeah, and then Anthony Rapp was there, and then we were singing Rent.
But with different lyrics that were like impossible to learn because the lyrics to La Vie Boheme are already like
a mouthful.
The kind of thing that you would need to repeat a bunch, but instead we all got there like 1 hour beforehand and they were like, learn these lyrics, and we were all like mumble, 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 mumble. Flawless. It went off flawlessly.
Yeah. I mean, other than the fact that nobody recognized who I was supposed to be, but
I'm sorry.
Pretty successful. I think it may have been Anthony Rapp who there's someone who like legit laughed in my face when they realized who I was supposed to be. It was funny. It was just, that would be my reaction too.
You're like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's a weird choice. At any rate, it is relevant for us to discuss this because this is what it was like to be on this show. Like, this is an experience we really had because we were invited to this convention because we were on this show that had a popular fandom and was a draw for a convention. And I've already mentioned on the show that like we were never paid to attend conventions, neither by the convention nor
our own production.
Our production. And it is normal for conventions to pay guests, and we should have asked.
But how else would we have this memory of me dressing up as Evil Willow?
But they flew us there. They put us up. We always had a great time when we went because it was a blast. And I'm not complaining about the money thing. I'm just explaining because people, as we've discussed several times, people look at the Lizzy Diaries more broadly and say, "Oh, you all seem to be successful." I don't know. It's even funny to me that was the perception when I watch it now because it's obviously very low budget, but we were, we were recognizable.
It's the optics of how enthusiastic the audience was and the level of engagement, right? So it's like, well, I'm a fan of this. It looks like so many other people are fans of this. It must be a huge hit.
A lot of YouTubers were making decent money. I have no idea how much ad revenue we ever made because we didn't make it.
Right. And those are folks who are like self-generating their own content as opposed to like,
exactly.
We were
As opposed to having a
hired.
whole crew that you have to hire. Exactly. The reason we're at this location is because we have now partnered with this company, Deca, and that came with money, and I have no idea how much or what that was. But it was just this sort of crazy experience that like we were recognized, but also like struggling actors. And as part of that, we also went to conventions and dressed up as Eva Willow and had a great time. But yeah, they would like cover like hotels and travel was all covered. And, you know, like people would pick us up at the airport and take us where we were supposed to go. And there was like food provided at the convention center. And for a lot of us, that was what we were just trying to like eat for the whole weekend. We're like, oh yes, more carrot sticks have shown up.
Or the breakfast bread, like, oh yes, muffins.
Yes, like, must eat the free food because we don't have any money. I do remember at that Geekycon though, because I remember that we were in Portland, that Hank took us all out for dinner. We definitely had at least one real meal, but like a lot of the times I remember being like, also as someone who was gluten-free, I was like, I will take these cold cuts and it's been enjoyable and we will keep hanging out, but we'll move on to another episode. That's our memories of this one. It's mostly about Darcy and we talked about Buffy. Goodbye.
Randomly. Bye.